Outside of Tokyo, a man gets ready for work. His office is only several blocks from home. Considering his age and achievement, he doesn't need to work anymore. But this is not an ordinary man. He still travels the world to share his devotion to his craft. Those who know him say he's tireless. Those who first meet him see a smile contagious, a laugh infectious. This is a story of fate. It's also a story of passion. This is the story of Mr. Global.
I have known Mino for many years. When I met him first time, my first impression from Mr. Mino is he was just like Colonel Sanders at Kentucky Fried Chicken, because he was already very famous man in this industry.
私が思うには、やはりミノさんが、海外へデモンストレーション、その成果が彼の成功に導いたではないかと私は思います。
Life is very dangerous. So when you are surfing life for your safety, please tightly grip like this.
I've known Mino for 23 years. When I joined Master Cutlery, I was only one worker except Mino in the office. While busy season, when we came to the office, even on Saturday, afterwards we used to go to Kikko for drinking. It was one of my favorite time.
薄くなってきたのは知りません。30年前はもう薄かったんでいつ薄くなったかは僕は分かりません怖いというか、とても仕事に厳しい人で、ああしろこうしろとかいろいろアドバイスいただいたり、まあそういう怖いというよりもそういうことですね。仕事の方にもっと真剣にやれと、頑張れと、そういうようなことをよく言われましたね。
He is sushi-holic. If you want him for a demonstration in abroad, you must research good Japanese restaurant well in advance.
Mino works very hard. Also, Mino works very hard at the drinking place. He drinks a lot of beer. He can drink faster than me.
And more.
And more, of course.
Very little is as precious to Mino as time spent with his wife and with his family. But there's always time for golf.
This is my first trophy. In that time I have no car, so I called the taxi, putting the case, so big, so impossible to putting in carries. So I holding like this. Material is nothing, Material is very cheap. Okay. This is my first son and younger son. So 3 kids.
こういうのが七五三のお祝いでこういうのを着るの、日本では。でみんなこういう格好させてお宮参りに行って、3歳のお祝い、これ7歳のお祝い。
7、5、3。
7と3と女の子のお祭り。これまだ6ヶ月ぐらいの頃。
さんも新潟プレフェクチャーの出身で、彼の素晴らしいところは今千葉の船橋で活躍をされていますけども、非常に故郷を愛している、大事にしているっていうところは非常に我々新潟県人員としても同じ共感できることがあるので、そこが我々の会社とミノさんと良好なビジネスパートナーを築いているベースになっているというふうに思います。
My eldest sister, 10 years older than me. My mommy is always asking to me cutting grass for horse. In the morning, we have a lot of the water with grasses, including, so quite easy to cut. But if the sun is up, everything is dry. So my mommy is always strongly push for me to get up very early morning, and some of the day I'm so sleepy. Okay, I promise to my mommy, I promise you to cutting the grasses after I back from school. No, it's very difficult. Please. Finally, mommy agreed for me. But after I back from the school, all grasses is without water. So the very strong. So can't cut. My tool is not sharp enough. Later on, I started on my company, Master Cutlery. At that time, I was looking a unique product. I asked good friend, the president of the Yoshikin factory, Mr. Watanabe Senior.
私の父がこのヨシキンの創業者です。その創業者、父からはそれをよく聞いていました。
He is sake drinker. Okay? I must ask to him, so I serve him. Must be have a different or the unique or something different. After he drink, no. Drink, no. Answer is always no and no. But he drink after he nearly drunk. Okay? Yes, Mino. Just remember, I have one. What is the one? It's a global. Brand new concept of the kitchen knife with help of a local designer named Komi Yamada.
僕はほぼ30年前ぐらいにあるナイフをヨシキンから依頼されました。それはオールステンレスのナイフ。ただ一つその時に思ったのは、今の日本人には多分オールステンのナイフはとても冷たい感じがして売れないんじゃないかな。その当時の冷蔵庫にはアルミの氷を作る製氷皿がありました。で、それを手で出す時に手にくっつく嫌な感じをみんな連想するんじゃないかと思ってました。そこでその包丁にドットをつけることを考えた。黒いその点で、例えばそれは何か触ってみたいな、握ってみたいなという感じがある人に現れたら、この包丁は大ヒットするんじゃないかな。
The sales were nearly nothing in Japan. 500 knives a month. I immediately liked them and asked if I may introduce them on the export market. I just changed the name from Japanese to the English. I always have a very big question. If I ask to French people, how about your knife? They say, our knife is number one. If I ask to the Yoshikin people, we are number one. Everybody is number one. Why everybody is number one? Okay. If it looks from the consumer side, it's very unfair. 25 years ago, when I traveled in Sheffield in England, I find Cutler machine.
CATRA is the internationally recognized independent organization that provides manufacturers and consumers objective information about cutting instruments and cutlery.
Oh, this is a fantastic machine. I can easily to making the ranking. So I immediately visited their office. I said I would like to order without asking the price. Because I believed I can easily to offer to the Yoshikin. So when I visited the Yoshikin, I explained to them, cutlery machine is coming. Sorry, Mino, we are no need such a machine.
ええ、うちまだそんなまあエクスペンシブだし、まだ買えないというね。
I'm very surprised. A little bit of headache because I already ordered. Trouble is business. Business is trouble. Okay? If once I have a trouble, I must be attacked. Because if you are not attacked, trouble is becoming the bigger and bigger and bigger. So I set up in my office.
This CATRA machine measures many attributes of a knife, including its sharpness and edge retention. This helps manufacturers monitor quality, and it gives consumers an understanding of how well a knife performs over time versus the competition.
This is a European standard, so the global knife is Japanese, so must be have more than that. Pom, 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 always same. Okay, this is a three-piece construction. Handle is two-piece. Both handles is perfectly matching. So, firstly we are welded, both handle. Blade cutting by sheet. Then, of course, we are welded blade and the handle. Handle is empty. Cutting balance is very poor. So you must be putting some weight. So I asked to Yoshikin people to please put the sun. All European knife, always grinding like that. I introducing this thing, but very sharp.
Mino has very much strict policy about their quality. He always pushing very hard for the high quality.
彼は非常に包丁一本一本を大切に使っている方なんです。これで自分のポリシーがあって、この研ぎ方、またこれをずっと使っていくためのものに対して非常に真剣に考えてくれる人だと。その人に対して私もそれに応えてあげようと。
グローバル製品はうちの工場だけでは作れない。もう20ぐらいの協力会社、下請けさん含めて、それで一つのグローバルナイフができている。その部分でその主力の協力会社さんと常にコミュニケーションをとっていくことが大事。それがグローバルの品質を維持することにとっては重要なポイントになりますということを教えてもらいました。
見事土田さんのおかげでそれが売れました。
He leaves most of business division to us. However, he is still standing behind the brand of Global.
So before I started cutting the glasses, must be resharpening. Not only by myself, all my friends. Okay? On the bridge, just we are, and water is here and coming again. And we discuss, okay?
He loves people. He treats customers just like his family.
He trusts someone, he treats them faithfully and never doubt them. His attitude made him a successful man and my big boss.
So, Mino, who is number one?
Who do you think?
It's okay.
This is okay, just here between you and I, okay? Please do not disclose to anybody, right?
In case of the England, more than 75% knife is buying by gentlemen. One day, I asked the buyer, why our global knife is so good to sales? She said to me, this is a sexy point. Gentleman is always thinking sexy point or something like that.
That's a lot to say,
Who is better in golf? Me.
Sure, I am.
Finito, finito.
Finito, finito.